The mighty Jaguar, a ferocious big cat native to the Americas. This magnificent specimen, however, is actually indigenous to England. After migrating from her birthplace of Birmingham overseas to the United States, she's traveled a remarkable 26,000 miles under her own willpower. This may seem unremarkable for similar species within the automotive kingdom, but it's truly an incredible feat for such a delicate British creature. All right. Let's address the elephant in the room for a second here. I know this is not a high-mileage car, not even for a Jag. But in an attempt to branch out, doing reviews on older collector's cars still falls into the same territory as a high-mileage car. They require heaps of maintenance, they're full of character, and they've got stories to tell. And that's really what this channel is about. So let's see how much has gone wrong in this Jag's relatively short lifespan. But first, a bit of background on the XJ. This example is a facelifted third-generation XJ, designated X358, and is the last year model of Ford-era Jaguar. It also marks the last year of the iconic XJ styling language, which can be traced back to its debut in 1968. Love it or hate it, there's a reason it stuck around for 40 years. Rich old dudes love it, or in this case, a nostalgia-seeking 27-year-old. I too have a soft spot for cars marketed for the elderly, and the 4.2-liter supercharged V8 making 400 horsepower will do more to get your heart pumping than any old pacemaker could ever manage. And thanks to a fully aluminum unibody design, this jungle cat, with all its luxury and padding, only weighs in at a husky 4,000 pounds. This all equates to a 0 to 60 time of around 5 seconds, which is, as the British like to say, adequate. Perhaps the most elegant feature of this Jag's exterior is the celestial black paint color. Yes, I know it's blue, but I'm not the one who named the color. I'm sure there's a metaphor in there somewhere. Regardless of your opinion on the exterior styling, you'll have to agree that this shade of blue is stunning. And what makes it more special, only the Portfolio trim was offered in this color. Paired with the navy interior, which you'll see in a bit, it's said that this car is one of only 140 examples, making it far more rare than exotic cars such as the Ferrari Enzo. Now, if that's not posh enough for you, then you can brag to your friends about the milled aluminum side vents, because nothing says expensive for no reason quite like billet trim pieces. That isn't to say they don't look ace. If you couldn't tell, I'm stalling quite a bit here. The bodywork on this XJ is infallible. Naturally, the aluminum shell is rust-proof, so even Michigan's frozen wasteland can't ruin it. What it can ruin, however, are these 20-inch Selena alloy wheels. Beautiful and unscathed currently, but one has already been replaced after an encounter with a pothole. Here's hoping the moon-like, cratered surface of the Midwest won't claim yet another. Portfolio. What does it mean? Well, the dictionary defines it as a large, thin, flat case for loose sheets of paper such as drawings or maps. I don't know that I see the resemblance. But in Jaguar's dictionary, it apparently means blue, soft-grain leather seats, oak veneer trim, and TVs in the headrests. I'll admit, I like Jag's definition much better. Sitting in here is like being transported to the English countryside, only if the cows were all blue and the trees were sideways. Now, I'm sure this is the part of the video where you're expecting me to explain how all the electronics have been replaced at least 3 times, and that the vents blow cold air when set to hot, or that the steering wheel was put on backwards by an old Englishman wearing a leather smock. Though that would make great content, The only thing that's been replaced is the driver's door window switch. Disappointing, I know, but the fact is, most of the interior functions are Ford designed. After all, statistically speaking, the year this car was built was one of JAG's most reliable years, even beating out Lexus in J.D. Power's vehicle dependability study. You'd know that if you watched my History of Automotive Reliability video. You should definitely watch that right after this. Anyway, without the worry of something breaking, you can spend more time relaxing, especially in the back, where you'll find a tray table, perfect for never using. Dual-zone climate control and heated seats are also great for pranking friends by turning their side to heat while they aren't looking. And of course, the all-important sunshades, to be used explicitly when you are trying not to make eye contact with that hobo at the stoplight. Life of luxury. Up until this point, it would appear that owning an 11-year-old Jaguar has been smooth sailing. Perhaps you're thinking that everything you've heard about the brand is overblown. I mean, it's an all-aluminum Ford product produced during JAG's most reliable model year. Well, my friend, you're mostly right, but you're also mostly wrong. Remember, we're talking about a used flagship luxury sedan here. Regardless of brand, it'd be unwise to assume that it won't hit you where it hurts most. Right in the nuts. I mean, wallet. After only 26,000 miles, the service history on this car matches that of most cars with 4 or 5 times the mileage. One of the biggest weak points mechanically is the air suspension, aptly named Computer Active Technology Suspension. Yes, that spells cats. They actually went out of their way to make that joke. Well, the joke's really on the owners, because this system is about as robust as making the suspension out of glass. It's going to break, and in this case, it already did, and it has been replaced. Next on the list is the differential. Though it hasn't been replaced yet, one of the bearings has begun making very unluxurious noises. On a normal car, this would be expensive. But conveniently, the differentials for this car are no longer available, so it will likely require some wizardry to fix, alongside a new drive shaft and half shaft. And last I checked, getting a British wizard to help you usually doesn't end well. I think there's a book about that somewhere, I don't know. And finally, just days before filming this episode, it was in the shop to have an engine mount replaced. So sure, these repairs are all very scary, but in reality, you're buying into all of this luxury and performance at 75% discount from new. And from this view, there isn't much that separates it from a new car, and that's pretty cool. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next mile.